Uma, when it feels as if at 2 points in your life, when you did not get the answers, when little Uma did not get the answers from her mom, she sort of thinks she got some answer which didn't give her clarity. And then that Uma who had a check in the hand and she didn't have clarity because she didn't feel the way she expected herself to feel. And then standing in front of your master and getting that clarity. In all these three scenes, it feels as if you were there, someone was there, or something was there, and you were seeking your answers, and you found clarity in your master's feet and understanding, a deep sense of understanding and clarity came to you. So, for people who don't understand this, how come these three instances where nobody's giving instructions, nobody's talking to you? It's either the check in your hand, or it's your Gita Ben who's sitting in front, but really not giving you answers. And it's again the photo frame which isn't giving you answers. How do you know which answer and how do you get that clarity? Just for people who don't understand this.
Thank you for diving so deep and formulating this question. So, since childhood, I had this wakeful me, very very awake, and I wasn't knowing her. I wasn't the best friend of her, but I knew that sense of deep pause and deep sense of knowing which is beyond logic or of physical articulation of it. But I was very comfortable with that space, and I most of my answers came from silence, and I was very very okay with it and didn't have a need to question that space and make sense out of it. What I noticed it that it changed the course of life, and it always stood on the junction for me and gave that. And I'm sure there are much more incidents than these three, but they happen to be there. And right now, it's the first time that I'm able to, or rather consciously use that in my conversation and call for it and have that me more in front and acknowledging it. But it had been throughout the life, and even in my childhood, that I was reading Osho when I was less than 11. At 9.5, 10, I was reading Osho, and he was very controversial. He was still into he was not become Bhagavan, and he had written on the sex to samadhi, and there was a hell lot of uproar going on, and I didn't have any idea of what does that mean, but I knew this guy talks sense. And by the time I was 18, I had finished Osho left, right, center, everywhere. I could just quote him from line to line, from the book to book. And all of that was when it was happening, that there was this deep sense of knowing and resonance which traveled, and he became my co-traveler, or not co-traveler. He held me by his with hand gently and walked me through. And there's a long journey of my spiritual life is has very silently had happened, where Osho had been my master and never had actually met him. I wept when he passed away, saying I would never see you, and how it is that you contributed so much to my life and I can't even see you. But I had a very deep sense of connect. So, answer to your question would be, Anu, that it is now I'm vocalizing that space, but that space has been with me for since very very long time, and as if witnessing, silently waiting for me to pay attention to, or being my best buddy, and being so silent. It does not talk unless that I give the space. No, it simply stands and watches, and give me sense of knowing, but not the way I understand, but I understand. So this conversation had been a long journey.